The episode 2 begins with JJ, who can no longer figure out how to act after everything she has just been through, the danger she faced, how Ruru protected her, and the tension between Kefir and Yuri. And now, inside the classroom, a full-on fight breaks out as they begin teaching her how to defend herself. Each one of them tries to outdo the other, showing off their strength right in front of JJ. Suddenly, CN steps in, overpowering Celix, and tells her bluntly that what she just saw, she would never be able to pull off herself. But CN challenges that idea, telling Celix to flip that book and perform a karate move, and he does it flawlessly. Everyone cheers for him, and JJ is in complete shock, never imagining he could do something like that. She wants him to teach her, but he simply walks away. Now it's Kefir's turn. He gets her ready, but she tries to ignore him. She keeps insisting she can protect herself, so Yuri steps in and teaches her how to fight back, how to protect herself, and never let anyone take what they want from her. He challenges Kefir and walks off, deliberately provoking him. Then Kefir steps up again. He teaches her how to use the small weapon, the one meant for hair, and tells her to focus on every movement of the person in front of her so she can analyze their attacks. He encourages her, adjusts her grip, guides her stance. She tries to dodge him, but he pulls her into his arms instantly, holding her close as everyone cheers loudly. But Yuri is furious, absolutely at his limit. He tells her she must intimidate her opponent and trust her own heart. She strikes him and pushes him back, and the whole class erupts in excitement, cheering for her. She's thrilled, overwhelmed by the support, but her mind starts spinning. Which self-defense technique should she rely on? Which style should she choose? She walks out with CN, nervous and dazed. A message suddenly pops up from Yuri, asking where she is. She can barely think. She drifts aimlessly until CN grabs her arm, telling her to focus. All of this training is for her own good, so she can avoid future harm. But as soon as she teases him about girls, she threatens to expose his crush, Gina, and he immediately shuts up. Yet the faint scent from someone's perfume hits him Ella's scent, and his mind spirals back into the past. He remembers how they once had something between them, how her friends bullied him, how she never defended him, how they even accused him of theft, and she said nothing. And JJ remembers too, how she was the reason behind everything that went wrong. And it was Kefir who told her the truth, that CN still cared for her back then. Her heart aches from the memory. She returns to class, thanking him as they begin studying combat. She thinks Yuri was the one who taught everyone, but she learns that all of them know how to fight, no matter their rank. She talks with Maya, arguing over the sport he plays. He calls it parkour, she calls it kapur, and the two of them keep bickering non-stop until Kefir steps in, telling them to stop acting like children. They immediately start arguing again, neither willing to back down. But then everyone hears it. She blurted out something inappropriate, snaps her mouth shut, and the entire class stares at them, according to the rules they agreed on. Now he gets to kiss her. He steps closer, the room holds its breath, and he leans in to kiss her right in front of everyone. Yuri freezes, shocked. She pushes Kefir away, and whispers fill the room. Everyone stares. She and Kefir lock eyes under Yuri's burning gaze, and everything between them tightens again. Time passes. They are still in class, discussing a topic, giving different opinions, defending each other's points. Finally, JJ stands up, fed up with both of them. She tells them they both need to understand each other, but Yuri won't even look at her, won't turn her way. The teacher assigns an essay, and everyone groans. JJ goes around distributing papers. When she reaches Yuri, he clearly wants nothing to do with her. She tries to talk about what happened, but he says nothing happened at all. The teacher yells at them, scaring JJ into silence as the class laughs. They begin writing, but JJ tosses a piece of paper at Yuri to force him to talk, so they start communicating through notes. He doesn't want to respond, but he finally writes back, "Focus on the lesson, not on me." She's confused. She writes again, telling him he must be upset about what happened with Kefir. She keeps sending papers his way, until he finally hands another note to her. Kefir notices. He sees everything the exchanged notes, and his face tightens with jealousy. The teacher catches her and throws her out of class. Everyone laughs, and she walks away, upset and alone. Outside, she grabs some chalk and plays with it, completely lost in her thoughts. Yuri suddenly appears behind her, startling her, laughing gently as she apologizes for getting kicked out because of him. He tells her nothing will change, and that he came to apologize and sit with her. She's stunned. He didn't even want to talk minutes ago. What changed? He looks straight into her eyes and finally admits, "I want you. I'm not angry at you. I'm jealous. I love you. I can't control my feelings. You're my fiancé even if no one knows it. And watching someone else kiss you, it destroyed me. Maybe you don't love me, but you agreed to the engagement. You agreed to be mine." His voice trembles. Her heart tightens. She reaches for his hand, steps closer, and hugs him softly. Both of them breathe into the moment. He pulls back just enough to kiss her cheek, a gentle, emotional kiss, their eyes locked in a deep, vulnerable silence. Then he walks away, leaving her frozen, overwhelmed. Suddenly, Kiefer appears, furious. He shouts at her, demanding why she's here. She's confused, scared. He tells her she belongs to him, and if Yuri ever comes near her again, he'll regret it. He throws her aside and storms away, terrifying. Time passes. She returns home and tells herself she never wants to see him like that again. His temper reminds her of her ex-fiancé, and she can't deal with that kind of anger again. She sits in her room with CN, who eats ice cream like he owns the place, completely unbothered. She isolates herself, lost in thought. He watches her, noticing she's acting nothing like herself. She finally speaks, and he begins to think about watching a movie together. They sit together, ready to watch the movie. But before it starts, she stops him and asks the question that has been burning in her mind. Had he ever seen Kiefer upset before? And what did he look like when it happened? He confirms it immediately. Yes, he had seen Kiefer furious once, and it was because of Yuri. It happened at a time when I was also there. Kiefer beat Yuri so badly that no one could stop him, because when Kiefer is angry, no one dares stand in front of him. Anyone who gets close is bound to be hit. She says she feels bad for Yuri, but he calls Yuri a coward, someone who clings to Kiefer because he's too scared to face him. Yuri acts on impulse, without telling anyone, and he warns her to stay away from Yuri altogether. They finally go to watch the movie, and he chooses whatever he wants, but suddenly, his stomach starts hurting from all the ice cream he ate. She rushes him to the bathroom, waits for him, and then picks a movie herself. While browsing through the files, she finds a folder labeled Secrets. Curious, she clicks it open, and what she sees shocks her to the core. A video plays. They are holding Kiko, beating him ruthlessly. Because of Yuri and Kiefer, they're punishing him for getting close to JJ at the party, for putting her in danger. They all gather around him, hitting him again and again. They're thrilled, laughing, enjoying it. She watches them torturing Kiko, and tears stream down her face. Kiefer is especially pleased with himself, and Sain records everything. Moments later, he walks in, cheerful, but instantly notices that she saw the video. She wants to know why they did all this to Kiko. The day passes, and she prepares herself to finally confront them, even if it makes them angry. He reminds her of what Kiko had done to her, but she still believes they went too far. Kiko had already been punished that night and kicked out. There was no need to return and destroy him like that. He tells her they did it for her, to protect her. He tries to stop her from knowing too much, especially about Kiefer, because if she digs deeper, Kiefer will turn on them all. She kicks him away and threatens him, demanding to know which hospital Kiko is in. Time passes, and she finally decides to visit him. She doesn't know what she'll feel. Anger, sympathy, guilt. When she walks into the hospital room, she sees him hanging by wires, bruised, broken, exhausted. She came to check on him. He tells her he deserves what happened. She shouldn't feel sorry for him. He apologizes, saying he didn't know what he was doing, that his heart shattered when she rejected him, that none of it excuses what happened, but he still begs her forgiveness. She accepts, but tells him never to repeat it again. He's touched. He relaxes when she says she came alone, no one with her. Suddenly, Kiefer calls her. They're all looking for her. Kiko notices this and realizes how lucky she is. Everyone cares about her. Everyone would fight for her. No one ever did that for Ella, not even close. He tells her he'll stay in the hospital for a month, and full recovery will take 8. Then, physical therapy. He was expelled from school. Rhea broke up with him. She didn't want someone like him. He laughs at himself, calls himself pathetic. He talks about the girl who was once kind to him, who later changed so fast. When her friend died, she turned toward Kiefer, Yuri, and Iris. If she wants to know that story, she should ask them. She returns to class, and they immediately yell at her because they were worried. Yuri says she disappeared somewhere. She tries to avoid all their questions. Kiefer and Yuri were worried sick. She promises she'll explain later. Everyone is staring at her. She sits between the two of them, her mind replaying everything that happened with Freya, Kiefer, Yuri, and Iris. She thinks about how Freya went to each of them when she needed help, and now she focuses on Adrix, observing everyone around her. Time passes until lunch. Everyone eats. She talks with Kiefer, calling him crazy, and walks off with CN, who threatens to expose that she visited Kiko. She warns him. They know Kiko can't move now, and she blames CN for everything that happened to him. He threatens to tell Kiefer, so she drags him away quickly. No one can know, or else everyone will explode. She sees Josh feeding the cat, completely absorbed. They talk about cats. Josh knows both colors, and warns her never to let Kiefer see them, because she doesn't know how he becomes when upset. They're his friends. He wants them safe and together. She finds him sweet, thoughtful, surprisingly clear-headed. Suddenly, the cat bites Ruru, and he panics that he might get rabies. Yuri comes over, dragging Ruru away from her, jealous again. She realizes both Kefir and Yuri are jealous of CN too. They talk about how this drama always happens around her. She laughs it off and walks away. She checks on Kate with Mayo. Kate is still upset. She tries to confirm how they're doing, and it's not good. Kate feels torn between family and love. She encourages him, but he says talking is easy. She's not in his place. He's hurt deeply. Thinking of being bold, he considers holding her hand and kissing her. Maybe it would make him feel like a man again. Maya sees this and teases them both, but Maya walks off, upset and misunderstanding the situation. She follows him so he can explain himself. With Kefir and Yuri always involved, misunderstanding becomes a daily thing, but Kate gets upset too, thinking someone else tried to kiss her. She tells him she didn't let anyone kiss her, ever. Adrix arrives and threatens her, saying Kefir will find out. Mayo steps in, angry at her, thinking she's the cause of all the trouble. He tells her she makes everyone flirt with him, that she's no different from Ella. She slaps him instantly, shocking everyone. She leaves with Adrix, while Mayo nurses his cheek. Adrix celebrates. She officially knows how to defend herself. Then she sees photos of Freya with a new guy. Her heart sinks. Kate is devastated. His lover died, and he still can't get close to someone who hates his whole department. To comfort him, she tells him she's crazy anyway, and he's better off staying away from her. Mayo returns, apologizing for what he said, acknowledging she's nothing like Ella. She apologizes too. He sits with them, and she checks on him. They talk about Adrix, who is upset over a girl. She jokes about it, not even realizing he's hurting. Falling in love is never easy. She notices Kefir and Yuri watching her, both following her, both loving her deeply. Mayo says Kefir is greedy when it comes to girls, while Yuri is better, and if he were her, he'd choose Yuri. She supposedly loves Yuri anyway, and that's why Kefir fought him. She learns that Kate collapsed after his lover died, and she feels sad for him, but her thoughts scatter the moment she sees Yuri and Kefir approaching. She realizes something terrifying. Everyone who gets close to her ends up getting hurt. She stares at both Kefir and Yuri, thinking about everything people have said about them. She looks at them, both of them, and she truly doesn't know who to choose. So what do you think? Who should JJ choose? The episode 2 ends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get the other episodes and turn on the bell.